Whitetail hunters have been clued in now for years. Kansas is a hot spot for big bucks. This ranch is custom tailored for glass and stalk hunting. You can cover 7,000 acres here. It's got so much potential. He's got 2 main beams. I'd like to see him on the ground up close and personal. Well, it's just a matter of seeing them, seeing where they're walking to, moving to intercept. That's a buck we're looking for. Yeah, you never had it? Maybe this one. What's this buck? Yeah, deer. That's a nice little rock on here. Beautiful.
Winchester's World of Whitetail. Winchester's World of Whitetail is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Cabela's, celebrating 50 years as the world's foremost outfitter. Bushnell, magnify life. Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation, education, and ethical hunting worldwide. Mossy Oak, it's not a passion, it's an obsession. And by Otis Technologies, the most advanced gun care systems in the world.
Everyone knows Kansas. It's a flat, boring landscape full of wheat fields and tornadoes. Well, of course it isn't. Like all the Plains states, Kansas has a delightful variety of habitats. And as everyone knows, whitetails love variety. Well, some hunters like variety too. And here in the open western landscape of Kansas, you get a chance to see big whitetails at a distance, shop and compare, pick out your favorite one, and then move in for the stock. It's a rare opportunity in Winchester's World of Whitetail.
Ron Spomer is returning to the Merrill Ranch outside of Evansville, Kansas, where he's been chasing monster whitetails for over 20 years.
What can I say about Kansas, whitetail hunting, and the Merrill Ranch but superlative? For me, it's like coming home because I've been hunting here for so many years and I know the people so well. They're like family. And the ranch itself is almost like my home ground.
Let's go up on a bluff and scope this out down here.
This ranch is just custom tailored for glass and stalk hunting. I've always said it's a lot like mule deer hunting out west because you get up high and you glass for deer. And then you either make a stalk or you run to intercept them. And here it's largely intercepting because once they get off of those breaks and down into the little cuts and holes, it's awfully tough to find them. So we get up high, we glass the distance, we find the deer moving, and if we can move in on them right then and there, get the job done, we do it. There they are. They're still there. Yeah, there's the buck. Ooh, he's good, he's good. Looks like a shooter. Let's just go right down to that dam right there. Go kind of easy. He's down there, he's down there. Got him right? 200 yards down there. Yeah. Right, on deck. Oh, he's only about a 4x5 though. He barely has I don't think he's got this much G4.
He's a good looking deer.
He is beautiful. Oh, look when he looks at us. How wide he is and tall. Oh, that's a tempting deer. But look at how small his stomach is.
What do you think, Ron? I don't know. I think if I shoot him, I'll kind of regret it. Don't pass on a deer the first day, then get shit the last day. But I'm going to.
Why don't you just watch the rest? Those does are still down there. There may be another buck with him. I'm gonna go around the corner and just kind of watch him go out of here, but I just don't think I'm gonna shoot him.
We see Ron hunt all over the place. He gets to hunt a lot of different landscapes, a lot of different terrains. He gets to hunt a lot of different deer. I'm not saying he can't hunt bigger deer somewhere else, but his favorite place to come back and hunt is here on the ranch. He just always enjoyed this wide open country, how far you can see that deer and you can watch it come in and walk right to you and you get that chance for that great shot. Here on the ranch, we've had some big deer taken. We've had a 189 taken, we've had a 181, both Boone and Crockett scored. We have a lot of 140, 150 class deer right now. And as we manage our deer herd, we want to get back to that late 80s genetic we had. It's still here on the ranch.
They have an aggressive management program stepping up now because David, he wants to really try some new things where they're putting out some good supplemental nutrition in bunkers, and then they're going to plant some more green crops. These bucks should blossom in a year or two because when their body mass goes down after the fall rut, they've got to get their body condition back, and that's what the food crops on the ranch will allow them to do. They can stay in the heavy cover, move a short distance to feed, move back into the heavy cover, not waste their energy wandering around looking for food.
Boy, I may kick myself for passing this buck up at 250 yards, but he's just one of those classic big deer that's just questionable, beautifully wide, nice tall tines. Just walking away, he looks impressive. But his body is not all that huge, his stomach isn't bulgy, he just doesn't look that old.
This is the conundrum of deer hunting in a great place like this where you have so many bucks with so much potential and you've got freedom to roam the entire ranch. You can cover 7,000 acres here and it's just breaks and crannies and nooks and plum thickets and some creek bottom, and it's got so much potential. Tempting to shoot him, but I'm going to resist. I've done this before. You see him and you shoot, and then you wish you'd hung out and waited for that bigger buck. And we've got that potential here.
Coming up, Ron's stalk across the Sunflower State turns up lots of big bucks, plus one Kansas cranker.
He's got two main beams on the left side.
I can't decide if I'm going to shoot that monkey thing or not.
Santa Claus finally caught up with me. I had to leave home with my new truck so fast that my gun racks didn't even catch up with me, and they've been chasing me around the country. Finally made it. Now I get to put them on. Right in here, we're going to have ourselves some gun racks.
Oh, that goes in easy.
Easy storage and lots of it. That's what Ron's got with his new Ram Outdoorsman. It comes complete with low-profile floor compartments, buck-hauling tailgate extender, and sturdy integrated gun racks.
Beautiful. Woohoo! That's going to work.
Ron's hunting in his favorite style at one of his favorite places. He's spotting and stalking at the 7,000-acre Merrill Ranch, sprawling across northeastern Kansas where the rut may be winding down, but the big bucks are still on the prowl.
He's just standing there with a doe, and he is going to camp with her.
Okay, here comes a goofy-looking sucker. Come look at him.
Let me get him in the binocular by those does. Oh, wow.
Yeah, 3.
He's a non-typical freaky looking thing. Wow, he's got two main beams on the left side. But look at his right side, it just goes straight up. There's only 2 or 3 points on it.
Yeah.
Oh man, is that a weird looking buck. That's the strangest one I've ever seen out here.
That's the kind I like.
Well, you want to shoot him? I'll let you borrow my rifle. I'd like to see him on the ground up close and personal. He's walking towards that other buck now. Let's see if we have a little altercation.
Whitetail hunters have been clued in now for years. They know that Kansas is a hot spot for big bucks, and it's because of the agriculture, the brush, the small human population, and the very conservative management by their fish and wildlife. Kansas limits the numbers of bucks that get shot, so they get bigger. And the country itself limits the numbers of bucks because it's so big. You get on these vast ranches and a few hunters are on there, the deer have places to run to escape. So you're not getting shot when they're yearlings like they do in many states.
Oh, look at that when he throws his head up. That rack looks good. Big, heavy, dark. Gosh, if he'd just be a 5x5, he'd be a candidate, but he doesn't have enough spread either. But the belly on him, look at that. He looks like he's pregnant. I'd shoot that double beam buck if he's right-sided as good as his left.
He's running those does.
The big guy?
Yeah, he's...
Oh boy, he's really streaking
Yeah.
out with him. Oh, they're really going. Holy mackerel, he's not stopping. Oh well, not like we didn't have our chances to shoot him.
With plenty of shooter buck sightings to start their hunt, Ron and Chris jump back into the Ram Outdoorsman to scour the Merrill Ranch for the big, regal beast they both know is there.
The Merrill Ranch over the years has changed in subtle ways, and some of them are actually fairly dramatic. The cedar trees are what's really changed it. When I started, they were little seedlings. There were a few big trees here and there, but my gosh, have they grown up and taken over the country. It's essentially a weed species. Entire pastures can be taken over by cedars, which means there's nothing for game to eat. We don't even find the deer using the cedars for shelter very much. Whitetails are a transition animal or an edge animal. And I guess we're on an edge here because the upland prairies where the farming is done start to break off here down in through some little badland stuff and then drop down into the river valley. So we're sitting on that transition zone, glassing all of the feeding fields up here, and there are miles and miles of wheat fields and milo fields and all sorts of grains. Did you check out those by that big bale pile, Chris? Trying to find deer that are moving from that feed field where there's very little bedding cover down into more classic whitetail habitat with brush pockets, plum thickets, deciduous trees, cedars, and all these breaks. Well, it's just a matter of seeing them, seeing where they're walking to, moving to intercept. That's a big buck. Past his ears and high. Ooh, this one looks nice. When he picked his head up and looked at this other buck that I thought was big, he made him look small. That's a buck we're looking for. I think we got to get a lot closer to that bunch because they're going to come down clear over that other pasture. Without these spotting scopes in this kind of country, you're out of the ball game. All we can see with the binoculars, we've got deer out there, and occasionally one looks like a buck because it's a little bigger in the body. You put this baby up there, bingo, not only do you see that they're definitely bucks, but you can see how high and wide they are. And often, especially when it starts to get a little lighter now, we're going to be able to crank this eyepiece up from 20x towards 60. Somewhere in there, you can optimize your view. Just a darn great versatile tool. Oh, look at this, 1, 2, 3. He's at least a 4x4, and I think he's a 5x. Uh-oh, now he's chased him. We need to get closer.
When we return, Ron and Chris close the gap on this batch of big bucks. But with so many shooters in the bunch, Ron's got a tricky decision to make.
Are you gonna shoot him? I can't make up my mind.
Winchester's World of Whitetail is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Cabela's, celebrating 50 years as the world's foremost outfitter. Bushnell, magnify life. Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation, education, and ethical hunting worldwide. Mossy Oak, it's not a passion, it's an obsession. Otis Technologies, the most advanced gun care systems in the world. And by Mule Deer Foundation, leader in mule deer and black-tailed deer conservation.
Ron Spomer's on the hunt in vast and varied Comanche County, Kansas, where bucks, big, tall, wide, and non-typical, turn up in just about every type of terrain you can name. On this week's Going Ballistic, Ron gives the lowdown on what it takes for today's brush rifles to make the grade.
When you hunt in the brush, you need a brush rifle. Well, at least that's what a lot of people say. I'm not so convinced. So what makes a brush rifle a brush rifle? Its handling characteristics. You need a fairly light, quick, responsive rifle that you can get up and in action in a hurry. So you don't want a big long barrel that's going to catch on all the branches, and you don't want something so heavy that you have to take several minutes to get it in action. I can shoot once. That's pretty quick. An additional benefit of having a flat shooting rifle like a 270, when you come out of the brush and you've got a big open meadow, you can reach out there and touch someone.
Ron and Chris are on the move, looking to intercept a group of deer that includes a big-time 10-pointer and a gnarly triple beam buck they spotted and nearly shot the day before.
Chris, I've got 3 does and a buck. Oh, a big wide buck coming right at us down this feed field out here. That cane, they're trotting right in here. They're gonna come right in the end of this draw if they keep coming like this. Okay, he's got 5 points on the right.
Man, he has got a spread on him.
No, that's not the big one. The big one back there.
Come on, girls, keep going north.
When they decide to move, man, they can just go.
We will be going also.
If we get on that ridge, they're only going to be 250, 300 yards across that canyon. And if these guys keep coming like they're doing, they're gonna get in that draw too. I'll bet you they're all funneling down that draw.
We gotta move that way.
Let's get up on that ridge about 150, 200 yards over there. That big buck, that wide buck was coming in on this end. The other ones are coming in over there. We got to get to like one of these little cedar trees right on top.
Oh yeah, it's over here. Right there, right here.
Good buck coming across the field. That's that 3x3. Nice one. 3x3, man. Looks good though.
That's the one we was looking at earlier.
Yeah. Oh, gnarly's out there somewhere yet.
I better get ready. They could be in our face.
It's gnarly buck. It's old gnarly buck. Yeah. 6 on one side, 3 on the other. God, he's funny. Should I shoot that crazy goofy bucker or not? He's actually got 4 points on the other side. What a massive bone he has on that one side. The base is just 10 inches thick. I can't decide if I'm gonna shoot that funky thing or not.
I mean, that 5x5 is still hasn't showed up yet. I'm gonna let him go.
There's something off to the right over there.
To the right?
To the right.
Oh, I wish that big, wide 5x5 would show up. No, it's not him. It'll be right in our face if they keep coming like this. They're either gonna cross up on that fence line 150 yards away, or they're gonna come right in.
I can't believe it came all the way over here.
Well, they went 1.5 miles coming in here.
There he is. He's coming around behind a tree, gnarly buck.
Which tree?
Right in front of us.
This one. There he is.
Gonna shoot him.
I can't make up my mind, but he's so close. There he goes.
Well, he's getting away.
That got him. He's dead. Oh, look at all those other deer go out now. There goes that big 5-pointer.
There's deer everywhere.
That's Kansas for you, folks. There's so many deer and so many choices. We saw this funky antler buck yesterday morning and could have shot him. But when you've got them walking 20 yards in front of you like this, and they've got these crazy antler conformations, hard to resist. Oh man, does he have weird antlers. It's the weirdest buck in history. Oh my gosh. Well, he's got double brow tines on this side, and each one of them is on a different main beam. He came from behind the horizon, over the hill, all the way across that wheat field, and then gets down in this draw with all these gnarly canyons and draws. We picked the one he comes into. Look at all the mass down here. Oh, gee whiz. Look at this funky thing on the back of this. 1, 2 points cupped out. You can drink water out of that little hole. There's a thimble in there. This guy's genetics were so messed up, he didn't know what he was. But the real question for me is, why is one side so much weaker than the other? I've been around the block and I've shot a lot of deer, and I've never shot one that looked like this. So as a deer collector, an antler collector, it's interesting to talk about and examine and just see what a whitetail is capable of producing. Another classic 5x5 antler is not going to show you that. It's strange and unusual, and we'll be able to talk about it and discuss it, and I might show it to some biologist friends and get some new insights there. So it's just sort of an education. There goes my chance for hunting up the big one, but he's gonna heck of a conversation piece, I'll tell you what. Kansas and the Merrill Ranch are like coming home for me. It's always a treat to come back to a place I've hunted for more than 20 years, renew friendships with great people, and hunt an incredible landscape like this. I can't think of a more enjoyable whitetail hunting experience than in former bison country that is now populated with whitetails.